big beard.
Hey, Kayla.
Hi, Iyanna.
Welcome to Fill in the Blank podcast.
Welcome.
Running. Wait, why are we doing this? Okay, sorry. Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Fill in the Blank. Hey, Kayla.
Hi, Iyanna.
Hello, audience. If you guys are new here, welcome to Fill in the Blank. This is just a podcast of two friends trying to create a fun, interactive, and safe space together. Just trying to feel, heal, and navigate the life together, you know? Woo!
Yeah.
This is what happens when you guys make me open. You're welcome. Anyways, let's start with our first segment. Feelings forecast, Kayla.
Woo!
How's your week been? What's the forecast?
Ooh, the forecast is, it's been cool. Honestly, yesterday I didn't go to work.
Oh, I love that. Wait, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, it was good for me.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Look, it sounds good to me.
It was good for me. So I didn't go to work.
Okay.
And then Monday we had off.
Yes.
So that was great.
Shout out to MLK.
So now it's already hump day.
Hump day.
Yeah, hump day. So this is very chaotic.
This is what happens when y'all make me. Oh, just so y'all know how we said we're starting this whole thing where, you know, we take turns producing episodes. This is my production.
Yes, it is Iyanna's week.
Just always expect it to be chaotic.
So Iyanna led us into
chaos. You're welcome.
It's not chaos. But yeah, it's been a pretty decent week. How's your week been?
My week has been pretty good. I don't think I've had a cloudy day in months.
I love that. I love it.
I do too.
And you deserve that.
I do.
You deserve sunshine and rainbows
and unicorns.
And unicorns and butterflies. And pots of gold.
Yeah, hey, amen. Hello.
So I'm so glad that it has not been cloudy.
I love that for me.
Yeah, I love it too.
Okay. You deserve the same. You deserve to be riding on one of them flying unicorn things. What'd you call those? Into the sunset. With Marcus on the back. But he got to be on the back.
I'm going to hold him just like this.
He probably holding on to the tail like, ah!
I like that. That's cool.
Okay. All right. Is this where we get serious?
Yes, okay. We're getting started.
Guys, so our topic for the day, this one was on my heart because it was an issue of my own. It is codependence versus interdependence.
I love it.
So I know we hear a lot about codependence. I am a recovering codepender.
Me as well. Sisters.
Hello.
And recovering
we
codependency.
We love that. And we hear a lot about codependence, but we don't hear a lot about interdependence. So we're going to talk a bit about that. So let's start off with definitions.
Cool.
Interdependence is recognizing and valuing the importance of an emotional bond while also maintaining a solid sense of self.
Oh.
Keyword, solid sense of self. Oh,
solid sense of self.
Solid sense of self. I think without that, you can't have interdependence.
I agree. Yeah. Because how can you rely on yourself and feel confident in who you are if you have no solid sense of self?
And then you're combining your life with someone else?
Yeah, no.
You can't. You can't do both. You can't do both. Okay, and then codependence. We all know what codependence is. But relying heavily on others for a sense of self and well-being. Codependence, we all know. I've experienced it for myself. But it definitely interferes with having healthy relationships.
For sure.
I think a lot of people have codependent behaviors and may not realize it. Sometimes it's a two-way street. Sometimes it's just one person in the relationship. Nonetheless, it always ends up toxic.
Yeah. I feel like that was definitely my toxic trait in previous relationships is my codependence and wanting like all of my happiness and everything to be built upon me being in a relationship with this person.
Yeah. And for you, that showed up in ways of like clinging. What else?
Mainly clinging.
Yeah.
I would just cling to the person and like just like a hovering helicopter.
Bro, same. When I was reading about this, because there's I separated it into what codependence looks like for individuals, what it looks like for romantic relationships, and the risk factors for codependence. And when I tell you, I feel in a lot of these categories, it's a bit concerning.
Yeah.
So the ways that it shows up for an individual, poor with boundaries. I didn't learn boundaries until last year. I think I was beginning to, but I didn't learn to implement them until last year.
Okay.
So poor with boundaries, people pleasing.
Yeah. Ooh. I still have that issue. I'm still recovering
it's
from
hard,
that part.
but I think that comes more from your compassion.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which I think
it has less to do with my codependency and more to do with me just like being overly considerate of everybody's feelings constantly. That
actually makes me think about. Okay, I'm gonna say it later. Okay. I'm gonna say it later.
Okay.
And then the third is a desire to be needed.
Oh, that one was deep for me. Man,
Kayla felt that.
No, for real, because remember I was telling you that when I think I said this on the podcast previously about like me trying to fill the void of my mom's absence with relationships.
Yeah.
And so it was like that deep desire to be like deeply needed by another person.
Jeez.
I know. That's crazy.
I didn't see the loss of a parent on there, but I would imagine that would also be a risk factor. Some of the other risk factors is close family members with addiction, abuse, or chronic illnesses. So growing up watching someone or family members having to throw all of their needs into this one person consistently.
Well, then I check. Because, I mean, my mom passed away from having a chronic illness. So that was where that definitely came from.
Okay. And then the other one, lack of trust in self or others. Did you ever? I've always had an issue with. I was very impulsive and indecisive in a way, but even still, in the end, I was like, "But am I making the right decision?"
Yeah,
I would trust other people's opinions more than my own.
Yes, I was just about to say, as you said that, it helped me to kind of like decipher what it was for me, and it was definitely that I trusted other people's opinions more than my own. Like I did not trust myself at all. Yeah. I mean, it definitely took me a while to learn to trust really my own intuition, because I think you hear intuition and you thinking like it's some flippant like imaginary thing, but I think women's intuition is a real thing, or maybe it's the Holy Spirit. Yeah, or both. Shoot, or maybe women's. I feel like everybody has intuition, but women's intuition I think is a little. It's slightly different. But I think it's because we're so empathetic and we see everything. Women are very, like, by nature, we're a little more intuitive. Agreed. Yeah.
Another risk factor, need to control.
Oh, I got that one bad. Still, to this day. We still out here fighting.
Poor communication. I just learned that probably within the last 2 to 3 years.
What, communication? You feel like that was a issue of
It was
yours?
terrible before. My last like extremely codependent relationship, I didn't know how to communicate at all. And he'd be pleading with me, like, just say something. And my brain would go blank. It was a trauma response.
Okay. So it was a trauma response. He was shut down. So it wasn't that. So you literally did not have the words or anything within you to make you want to articulate.
Literally.
Like the feeling would just kind of be numb.
Could you even imagine me like that?
No, I can't.
The way that I am grew out of that relationship.
Wow.
Because I so much so did not want to be like that again.
So did it take the relationship ending for you to get to that point?
Yeah. It took the relationship ending and for some time to go by for it to click. Like, okay, now I see what the issue was.
Yeah.
Because he would be pleading for me to communicate with him.
Wow.
And I literally couldn't.
That's crazy.
I didn't have the self-awareness.
That's crazy.
It'd be like that though. You know? Growth is growth. Trouble making decisions. Terrible with that.
Same.
Need for approval or recognition.
Yes.
And then another one confuses pity with love.
Ooh.
That one's tricky. So that one's one I would never want to admit to myself, but I think being a trauma kid, it's almost like wearing a badge for a minute because you're like, I've survived so much. And so when someone used to call me things like, oh my God, you're so resilient, I would take that as, oh, they recognize me for the strength that I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
That made me think a little deeper too, because when you first said confusing pity with love, I was like, no, not me.
Ain't
That
nobody
doesn't
gonna pity
apply.
me.
But going back, I think that a lot of my codependence definitely was from my mom passing away and like not having a parent there, because since I was so young when she passed, people did pity me a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and so you constantly get recognition for that.
Yeah.
And people saying like, oh my gosh, she's so strong. Like,
Oh, wow.
you know, that whole ordeal. Cause I didn't cry at my mom's funeral. So people were just like, oh my gosh, she's so strong. Like she's holding it together for everyone. That type of thing.
Why is that such a compliment?
It's not. And as a child, I don't know if I even thought of it as a compliment, but I was just like,
I was talking to someone recently. It was a Black man, and we were talking about the fact that he never cried. Like he can only remember a handful of times that he's cried, and he said that he always just felt this urge to be the stronger person. Like if he ever sent someone else around him crying, immediately like he wouldn't even be capable, even if he may have wanted to. Like he wasn't capable of crying.
Is this a Black man?
Yeah. That's what I said. And I said, that's pretty typical for Black men.
It is. Very typical for them.
Sad.
It's very sad.
I feel like that shuts off a piece of you that's like essential to being a full actualized person.
That would be a great episode to dive into like.
So 2 things that I want to talk about. Black men and their emotions, but then also Black women and their hyper independence.
That would be great.
Right?
That could be a whole little series.
Right?
Oh, Black History Month. That would be perfect.
Hello.
Okay.
Okay. So ways it's shown in a romantic relationship.
Okay.
These hit.
Ooh.
Okay. Sense of responsibility to meet the other person's needs, or have all their needs met by their partner. I had both of those.
I did too. Yeah, I had both of those. I really wanted to meet, like, I think more than anything, I wanted to meet my partner's needs.
I had this idea of what a perfect woman looked like. And in my mind, because I was raised in the Christian community, like I thought it was to be the server as in a way.
And
not
I
servant,
think on my end, because I felt a sense of not having my partners fully previously, that I was trying to show them that
prove yourself.
Yeah, like that I was good enough and worthy of their love. Yeah. Which makes you very codependent on the person if you're constantly fighting to
their approval.
Yeah, fighting for their approval, fighting for yourself to be
and
valuable.
you were in that mode for a while. For some years, right?
Up until Marcus.
That's crazy.
So we've been together for a little over 3 years. So that was only...
Did you bring any of that codependence in the relationship in the beginning?
I probably did, but I probably didn't fully realize it because I had it back from him. You know, like we both wanted to be around each other, and we both wanted to be in each other's world. But I think that like as I reflect back on the beginning, like some would say it was just like honeymoon phase type of thing. But I think that there was definitely some codependency there, and us, like Marcus had never been in a relationship before. So that just pull for him to want to like be around me all the time, for us to always do everything together. And I think at a certain extent we're still like that, but I think it's like healthier.
It's more balanced now.
Yeah, like
I mean, the fact that you have your own drive, like this podcast, and he's like in school, and like
we spend a lot of time away from each other now. And I think that it was us realizing that like we wanted to chase after things that we loved and that we're passionate about, and not feeling like it's a negative thing that we have time apart. Like it just is what it is.
Oh,
like
I love that.
Yeah.
You guys strive for healthy. I like that. Okay. Other ways it shows up in a relationship: apologizing frequently.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
Is that you? Really?
I don't think it's me anymore.
But it was.
But previously I was just like, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Kayla.
Please forgive me. I'm sorry.
Kayla.
Even when I knew that I wasn't
in the wrong.
Yeah. I would still just apologize constantly.
Jesus. This one I had this issue with that codependent relationship, walking on eggshells. I was scared to bring up anything because I didn't want to rock the boat.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, not realizing the entire time there was an issue, and he recognized there was an issue, and it was rocking the boat anyways.
Yeah, that just made me shudder. That's why I was like, because yeah, definitely that walking on eggshells thing is real. Like,
it's uncomfortable.
You don't even want to say, like, I would have it to the point of not even wanting to bring up certain scenarios or things that went on, not knowing if it would trigger an argument or the conversation might go left or something like that. So ugh,
I know, I don't miss that.
Hate that.
This one. Oh,
what?
I had this one bad.
What is it? Putting
the partner on a pedestal despite the fact that they did nothing to merit the position.
Ooh, explain.
So this codependent relationship, I thought so highly of this man. I thought there's no way I would ever get anything better than this, which is why I was scared to say anything. I was scared to like rock the boat, and I just wanted to make sure I met like any needs that he had, and just fit whatever, what I believed the mold that he needed. And the entire time he didn't even want that. That's the funny part. But I just wanted to fit it so bad. But I thought so highly of this man that he could have said anything, and I think I may have been hurt by it, but I would have been okay with it.
Wow.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah.
This man broke up with me like 3 times, and I probably still would have gone back. And that's what I mean about putting him on a pedestal.
Yeah, I think that sometimes, like, and this goes back to a conversation we've even had previously, like, that is intermingled with, like, the lack of value that you see within yourself, and like not being able to put your foot down and understand like your worth, so you're able to then hold somebody else to a higher standard, not realizing like what it is that you deserve or how worthy and valuable you are yourself. That's crazy.
I do not miss that. Okay, last one. This one I got bad too. Feeling sorry for the partner even when they hurt you.
Oh, I used to do that all the time. So this is like a mix between the last one you said about the pedestal thing.
Yeah.
Just constantly trying to explain their issues and isms that were negative to me away. Even though I knew that it was some messed up stuff, I'd just be like, no, but it's okay because they do this, and this. Like constantly in defense mode of like why they're still a good person, even though they do not deserve me trying to hold them to this high standard. I
feel like the people that we're just naturally very empathetic people, and we try to see the good in people, which I think there is no issue in it. I think I've learned there's a huge difference between understanding this person for who they are and then accepting it.
Yeah.
And tolerating it. Like, you can understand, just because I understand this and I can easily explain why they did what they did or why they are the person that they are, does not mean that I'm tolerant, or shouldn't mean that I'm tolerant.
Exactly.
Huge
definitely a separation between the two.
For sure.
It should be. It wasn't back then when I was just like,
look, we were young and dumb.
We were so young and dumb.
We were, it's okay. It's okay. Goodness. Look, no more of that. That left in like the mid-20s somewhere.
Somewhere, somehow.
Yeah. Dude, I'm about to be 29.
That's crazy.
Isn't that cool though?
It is cool. I hear the 30s are the golden years. So
I'm really excited for the 30s.
Yeah, me too.
Because I do feel like it'll be like a lot of discovery and like learning, like my 20s, but like I'll have money and like more freedom.
I was about to say the fruits of your labor type of vibe. Like,
I've been setting the foundation. It's time to build.
Okay, come on. The 20s have been rough. Man, we've been digging out the mud.
Been whooping my ass.
Okay.
Whooping my ass.
For real.
Okay, so some things I learned about codependence. It's a learned behavior.
Really?
Yes.
That's very interesting.
It's a learned behavior. It's very cyclical. So almost like generational curses.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So if you had a codependent parent, you're more likely to be codependent. Me, for example. I was raised by a very codependent woman.
Yeah.
She parented in fear. And so she was very much so a helicopter parent. And I was her entire life. And she would constantly remind me of that.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't ask for that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, she used to helicopter parent me a lot, and bless her heart. in reality, she really just struggled with like discipline and stuff and
Yeah.
time management, which is crazy because now I struggle with both of those things.
That's crazy. So that probably even goes back into like having a learned behavior of like
Yeah.
what you see your parents do, and then you struggle with those same things.
Yeah, because I know she was also raised by a helicopter parent.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I had a little bit of both. Like I think that on my mom's side, I think that they did kind of parent out of fear. But even my dad's side too, like being in a police family, like they parent from a place of constant, like just knowing so much information that the average human should not know about what's going on. And then like projecting and putting that onto me. So it constantly makes you like they really do parent out of almost like a fear, like a worry for your child, for their safety, making sure that they're not getting mixed up in any type of like anything. So I think I definitely had like helicopter vibes, but like I think on my mom's side, like when my mom was alive, and even when I would just go to my Nana and Papa's house over the weekend, they just were a little more laid back with stuff. They were just like, oh, okay, like you're going to go like hang out with your friends. Like, okay, bye. Like, you know, or my friends would come over and they let us just kind of like do our thing.
I wish.
Man.
I told you about Kim, didn't I? This is the same woman who wouldn't let me watch like SpongeBob or That's So Raven.
I did not have that much of a helicopter childhood. You know, I used to watch all the TV shows, but mine was more so with like going out places and whatnot.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't do that.
Like doing different like parties and stuff when everybody was going to the parties in the city.
All the way dead. Kim was like, if I ain't coming with you, you ain't going.
Yeah. My dad would just be like, I'm not taking you. Not. Nobody could come and get you. So
yeah, she was like, I need to know their parents. I need to know. I need to be friends with them. I was like, well, okay.
So okay, this is a side story, but it's just really crazy.
Stories.
My dad and my stepmom, like when I used to go back to school, if I would ride with someone back to school, they would take a picture of the back of their car. So their license plate, the make and the model of the car. So if they did not get an opportunity to do that, I would have to send. So this was so embarrassing. Like imagine I'm getting in the car with someone and I have to go and take a picture of the back of their car, send the make, the model, the year, their first and last name and phone number.
I mean, I feel like that's actually not that bad.
I understand why they did it, but like in the moment,
that's embarrassing for a teenager, I'm sure.
Embarrassing.
Wait, when they did it, did they make it obvious that they were
doing
it?
They didn't care. They walked in the back of the car like... Got it. And I'm sitting in the car like, I'm so sorry. Like, that's so embarrassing. I get why they did it because, like, and I've had conversations with them about it, and they're like, okay, so let's say something happened to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The first thing they're going to ask, who was she with?
Yeah.
What's the make and the model of the car that she was in? And they were just saying like how so many parents lack the information that they're supposed to have,
especially with their teenage children.
Yeah.
They do. Okay, I feel them. I'm gonna make my kids do it. Look, I thank you.
You're gonna embarrass your kids too.
Hell yeah.
Look, I can't say nothing because I know I'm gonna do it too. I'm gonna be like, look, sweetie, come inside real quick. Let me get your. So what's your name? Phone number? Your parents' number? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna do the same thing, so I can't be mad. But at the time, it was highly. I know that has
to be embarrassing.
Yes.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah,
it happens.
But I'm sorry. Okay, back on track.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Another fun fact. Individuals with high levels of codependency typically go into professions like nursing or social work. That's what I was like.
As I'm in school for counseling.
Look, it's funny that you say that.
Funny you mentioned that.
For example, first let me say the other one. Most women are codependent. Mostly women. Out of the codependent people, it's mostly women. And I'm like, women. Not most women are codependent. Well, I don't know. I'm sure most women are. But nonetheless, I feel like that's societal, though. I feel like just the way that we're all raised to be women or how to be women.
And to be dependent on.
And to be, yes, exactly.
Yes, I could definitely understand why that is. Because I was definitely sitting there watching Disney movies like, my prince is coming to save me. Like, romanticizing the mess out of that as a child. That's so crazy and sick.
Lord. Another thing I thought about is like growing up, because I had a lovely Kim as a parent. And I think a lot of Black people experience, and I feel like other people too, but I can only speak to the Black experience. But growing up, it was very much so like, you're not allowed to have a voice. Like, I am the parent, you are the child. And I just think that teaches your kid to like not be able to say no, not be able to hold boundaries. So then when they're adult all of a sudden and they have to do things like say no and all of a sudden have boundaries, they don't know how to do that.
I am still unlearning that from my childhood to this day. Yeah. I am still trying to like fix that. I notice it even in my workspace. Like when people are telling me things to do and I know that it's incorrect.
Or not in your job description.
Like not having the voice, like the courage to be able to speak up and be like, you know, and check them. And I know that I can because after, like when I'm with other people, if I talk to y'all, I'll be like, can you believe they said that? Like, I know what I could say, but it's like in the having, like shrinking myself in the presence of authority figures because of my childhood and not being able to vocalize. That's deep, man.
Same. But that's why there's this whole movement of like gentle parenting.
And I totally get it. Yeah. And I know it's hard though. Like, I know it's difficult.
The crazy part to me is gentle parenting is really just, what is it called? I always get them confused. It's either authoritarian or authoritative.
Oh.
Authoritarian? No, tative.
I think it's authoritative.
Authoritative parenting.
Let me look it up.
Please look, because like why do they?
Those are two different things.
Yeah, they named them so close.
Two totally different things.
But I know there's three kinds of, or maybe four kinds of parenting. I know there's like neglectful parenting. There's authoritative, authoritarian.
Man, that was like one of my favorite things of learning in my program. I'm past that.
Same. I loved all that child development stuff.
Yeah, it's authoritative. We were right.
So it's authoritative parenting.
Yeah. So in this parenting style, the parents are nurturing, responsive, and supportive, yet set firm limits for their children.
See, and that's all gentle parenting is. Yeah. But I think people hear gentle parenting and they think,
let your child get away with anything.
Your child out here is smacking the shit out of you. Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said gentle parenting one time at a family outing.
Oh God. You can if I said gentle parenting around my dad, so you're not gonna whoop your kids? No, exactly. I'm not gonna whoop my kids. So how they gonna get disciplined? Sir, there are 1,000 other ways to discipline somebody.
There are more effective ways.
More effective ways
to discipline children than to hit them.
Than to smack the shit.
No. My mom really didn't like hit me like that growing up, but I did used to get a good pop every once in a while.
Kim whooped me once. And that's it. It was in 3rd grade. She found out I signed the detention slip or whatever the hell I signed. I used to sign the hell out of her signature all the time. I don't know how. I don't know if my teacher was just lying and pretended like it was her signature, or if I was just really good at signing her signature.
So funny.
In 3rd grade.
No way.
And I was learning how to do cursive in 3rd grade.
Oh, no way.
Anyways, but she found out, and then she caught herself trying to whoop me, and I showed my ass.
What'd you do?
I was screaming. It didn't even hurt that bad, but I was screaming at the top of my lungs, and I was like doing all that squirming, and like putting my hand. I was like, no, please don't hurt me. I promise I won't. And I traumatized the shit out of her. And she ain't never whooped me again. She'll pop me upside my head though.
Ain't nan whooping scared my dad from whooping me.
Okay, your dad is scary, first of all. Your dad is scary. It's
so crazy though, because he's like the friendliest, goofiest person. And I really did not get that many whoopings growing up. But like the ones that I did get.
Tear that ass up.
Look, all he had to do was reach for that thing. I said, I'm acting right. Okay, let's get back on track again.
Okay, another fun fact. You ready?
Yes.
1/3 of nurses have moderate to severe levels of codependency.
I believe it.
I mean,
look at what they do.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're constantly having to give.
And a person is depending on them.
Their lives.
For their lives.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And nurses are just a lot more like hands-on than like doctors. They are. So of course they do. 1/3 though, that's a lot.
That is quite a bit.
That's a lot.
But just think about it. They probably, to go into that type of profession growing up, they must be used to or enjoy in some type of way caring for others, you know?
Yeah. I agree.
It's those social fields that you go into.
It's crazy, man, what you sign up for. Okay, so now let's get into interdependence.
Okay.
Because that's what we're striving for.
That's what we want.
That's what we want. So signs of interdependence: healthy boundaries.
Okay.
Active listening during communication. For people who don't know what active listening, it's like listening well. Yes. Basically, like responding, giving cues that you're listening.
Yeah.
Not just regurgitating, but like actually responding back in a comprehensive way.
Yeah.
Clear communication, engaging and responding to each other. That's active listening. Which reminds me a lot of, have you ever heard of bids of attention? Bids of attention is another psychological term where in a relationship, someone or both people will constantly be shooting out these bids for attention. So it can be something as simple as seeing a bird outside and oh, look at the bird.
Right.
And there's different ways that you can respond. So either, I think I wrote it down. Okay, so there's 3 different ways you can respond, either turning toward, turning against, or turning away.
Okay.
So turning toward is actually responding to that thing, which is really healthy and it's good and effective for the whole relationship. Turning against is responding negatively to whatever it was. It's like, okay, it's just a bird.
Right.
And then there's turning away, which is the worst of it all, which is not acknowledging it.
Oh, just being like dead silent.
Dead
basically.
silent. And soon as I learned about this, I paid so close attention to the relationship that I was in at the time. And there was so much turning away.
Really?
Not even
on
like,
your behalf or your partner's?
On my partner's behalf. Oh. And I do it a lot. Because I mean, you know how my mind is just random as fuck. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Really?
Nothing.
So just kind of shutting you out completely.
Completely. Like no engaging at all.
That's interesting.
Anyways, let's not get there. Another one. Time for personal interest. Huge.
Yes, that is huge. Because that's how you maintain your individuality. Your sense of self.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Let's see. Personal responsibility for your own behaviors. Accountability to yourself. Checking in with yourself. Not putting it on your partner to be like, hey, is everything okay? Or like, you know, checking you really like, hey, I don't like when you do that. It's like sometimes you can catch yourself.
Yeah. And being responsible for your actions and your emotions.
Agreed.
I was just talking about this with one of my students today that's like in a relationship, and I was explaining to her about the concept, and I know that nobody has talked to her about this at this age in high school, but just not being responsible for your partner's emotions. Like,
yeah,
you all are responsible for your own emotions, and then you come together and you support one another, but it's not healthy for you to drown in your partner's emotions.
I know for a fact no one's ever talked to her about that because I didn't really learn that concept until probably last year.
Yeah.
During marriage counseling is when I realized like, oh, I'm really not supposed to be like leaning so heavily on you.
I think I learned it in counseling from my previous traumatic relationship experience.
Don't you just love how these traumatic relationships teach us so much?
They teach us so much. So that's why they had to happen. But
yeah.
You know.
But and I'm still trying to learn what that balance is for me of like being supported by my partner. What does that look like? And taking accountability for my own emotions. I think I do pretty good now, but nonetheless, I'm sure I slip back into it every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's an extremely important element. There has to be safety for vulnerability in the relationship.
Man, that's major.
So openness and approachability.
Yep.
Like
approachability,
right? Approachability.
Because a lot of people are not approachable.
No.
At all.
Agreed. And if you happen to be a codependent person who doesn't want to rock the boat, even if you have a valid thing to say, you may not feel that you can approach them, even if they may be approachable.
That's so real.
Which is why it's important to, for the next one, have a healthy self-esteem.
What do you feel like you've done in order to build a healthier sense of self? Like to get us a healthy self-esteem with yourself? For
me, I figured out what I value, what I actually want in life, what I want for myself, and what lifestyle I want for myself, and in spite of my partner.
Yeah.
And consequently, I've attracted people who want similar things now that I know who I am, because they sense it.
Yeah.
But when you're flimsy, who knows what you'll attract? Whatever it is may not be a good fit for you. Like, dead ass.
Yeah, for real.
I speak from experience.
Okay.
But yeah, so steps to building codependence. Steps to building
Not that.
interdependence. The first one is knowing who you are in the beginning.
Man. Wow.
It's important. It's important to go into
starting a relationship knowing who you are.
Knowing who you are.
Yes.
And not molding your personality for your partner.
Man, that's a big one.
But then there's also the balance of like being interested or trying to show interest in what your partner wants, but not absorbing that as your own.
Being able to shift, but not completely basically bend, but not fold.
Come on now.
That's really it.
I like it.
Bending, but not folding.
I like it.
And I would say when you said that was the one distinct difference in me going into the relationship I'm in now versus previous ones.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
What you want.
Mm-hmm. And I was very frank about it. I was very upfront. I said, look, okay, here is the deal, sir. So is this. I've been through this. Not doing that again. Try me and we will have a problem.
Amen.
I was very, very upfront about what it is that I wanted, what I was not going to deal with. And then another major difference is he knew what he wanted. And he also said, what we're not about to do is this. And I was like, that was the first time anybody had ever done that to me. I was like, okay.
I feel like that's how it should be approached in dating. I always went with wherever the vibes were. If it felt like good chemistry, then I'll go with that. Not realizing that you're supposed to lay out exactly who you are, what you want, what you're looking for. They're supposed to do the same. And if they happen to align, then you guys move forward.
Yep. To see if you're actually compatible.
Exactly.
Instead of trying to force somebody to be like you.
Exactly. What I realized I was doing was technically, yes, I was laying out everything that I was. However, I would also try to fit myself within the mold of whatever they wanted.
Yep. That's it right there.
Fuck that.
Okay.
Fuck that.
We ain't got time for that.
No, we ain't got time
Not
for
no
that.
more.
Okay, so a part of knowing who you are in the beginning, of course, knowing what you like, value, and what matters most to you, but also not being afraid to ask for what you want or to say no.
Mm-hmm. To say no. Man, I had that on my New Year's goals one year. And that was the year that I just started saying no to everything. I had to let it roll off the tongue good. Now I took it back.
No. Have you seen that Bugs Bunny, or is it Bugs Bunny?
I think
Bugs
so.
Bunny
I can picture it.
No.
That was me. That was literally me at that time. I was just like, look, I am taking back my power.
Come on.
The
Take
answer
back
is
that
no.
power.
Okay.
I love that for you. Okay. Also about knowing who you are in the beginning, spending healthy amount of time with friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't have that before. I think because I didn't have the proper support system, it was easier for me to kind of put everything into my significant other.
Yeah. I think that's something that I kind of struggled with at the beginning of the relationship, the separation and because it was something that I took over from previous relationships.
Yeah.
Since I couldn't number one, combine the two.
Yeah.
And then I also didn't feel comfortable to go and do things with friends or certain people without feeling like there was going to be an issue and things like that.
Yeah.
I had to kind of relearn, no, it's safe. I can go
and
be with my friends and it not be an issue.
This is a safe space.
Right. Exactly.
I love that. Okay. Also about knowing who you are, personal goals, knowing and learning how to implement boundaries. I feel like that could also be an entire episode. Boundaries are so difficult.
Boundaries are
Look, Asia hell
hard.
yeah. Boundaries are so hard.
And it's constantly difficult. Even when you learn how to set a certain boundary, it doesn't mean when you have to set a new one that it's going to be easy.
Agreed.
It's still hard because it's
Agreed.
something that you have to put your foot down about that is going to be uncomfortable for you and the person that you're setting the boundary against.
Agreed. And people typically don't respond to boundaries well.
They don't.
Something else, positive growth mindset.
Here we go with that growth.
I love that this keeps coming
Full
up.
circle.
I feel like growth mindset could be an entire episode too.
Yeah.
Positive growth mindset for sure. Working on your negative self-talk, because that affects your self-worth.
Yes.
That's a recent lesson I also learned. I used to think people say words have power, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, haha, that's bullshit. No, that shit's real. That shit is real.
It's BS.
That shit is real.
It's definitely real.
That shit is very real.
Watch your words.
So I wrote down the differences between the growth mindset, because I know we've briefly talked about it, but growth mindset is the belief that you can develop your skills through hard work, through the right strategies, and through guidance.
Yep.
Fixed mindset is essentially believing that you're born with the abilities you already have and it's fixed from birth. So
there are people that are really like that. They're like, this is just me. This is how I
used to
am.
be like that.
Really?
I used to be like that. I'm telling you, it was that codependent relationship.
I can't even imagine you being that way. That's so crazy.
Do you know, part of me is so curious to speak to my ex one day, because I just want, in some ways, I just oh God, is that bad? No. Is that a sense of proving? Because I want him to see, look, I'm a different bitch.
I mean, it might
but
be
also to prove to myself that I'm different. Because I feel like even my reaction with him would be feel unfamiliar.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be a slight flex, but at the same time, I think that there is something a little nourishing to your soul.
To myself.
When you know that you have acted out of character with a person, to be able to it's not really closure. I don't want to give that impression that it's closure, but in a way it kind of,
in a way it fits in the same category.
Yeah, it kind of can be dang, I really acted out in this situation and this is not who I am. I think it depends on how you approach it, your intentions in approaching that situation. If it is a flex or if it's a situation of just resolve.
I honestly think it would kind of be resolved, because I would want to ask questions I have a theory of why it ended, but I didn't know exactly why.
I think that's healthy.
But I don't feel the need to actually talk to this man.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
I thought I would, and my friends were a little nervous for me because I went to a specific space where I knew he would be, and I was with my friend and my dad, and they were like, "Are you ready for this?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready," and I expected some form of an emotion. I walked in, I didn't feel shit. This man was standing up on the stage, and I was just looking at him. I was like, I don't feel nothing.
You just didn't care.
I didn't even care. Yeah. But I would be curious to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
Just with me being so different.
I think that I told you, right, that I did that.
You called your exes. Maybe I should do that. Is that weird?
No, I did
I'm going to FaceTime this man.
I mean, I did it because I felt kind of like what you're talking about. The person that I was, I knew that I wasn't the best version of myself. And even though those relationships were very damaging for me because of shortcomings of the people I was with, I wanted to also take part in ownership of what I did. Yeah. Because of my codependence, what we're talking about.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
I was spiraling.
Yes. So do you remember when we did the it was the episode with Natalie, and I spoke briefly about this relationship and how it turned toxic, and I know I was part of the reason why it did. And it's not like I was actively doing anything, but it was because I was inactive that it turned toxic. Because I wasn't doing I was inactive. I was very passive. Ooh. And I wasn't doing my part as a partner. I wasn't communicating my needs. I wasn't saying what I needed. So he couldn't reciprocate and it was frustrating for him. Don't get me wrong though, that nigga was toxic. But nonetheless, I played a part in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to acknowledge that.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just the versions. I always think about how we've lived so many lives.
Bro, because when you talk about past Kayla, I'm like, I cannot imagine you like that
She was.
I like how she was.
Look, I'm just staring off his face man, that girl
was not me.
That girl, I don't know who that was.
Not me. Okay, so examples I wrote down of difference between growth and fixed mindset. I wrote down phrases that would be used. So for example, let's say sorry, I was like, what the hell did I write? Okay, so let's say starting a new project. Fixed mindset would be, I hope this will be easy. Growth mindset will be, I hope this will be interesting.
Okay.
Huge difference. I used to be, and sometimes I am still.
I was going to say, sometimes I'm still let's get it done. Let's get her done. I am not I don't want to be challenged. Let's just get it done.
Okay, another one. High grade on a test.
Okay.
Fixed mindset would be, I must be really smart in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Growth mindset would be, wow, I must have really paid attention and learned a lot. Look, look, Kayla's still like, nah, I'm still on the other side.
I have some fixed mindset stuff because I'd be like, oh, that mean I ain't got to study. Like, I'm good. I'm smart. Y'all ain't messing with me. An A?
An A? Okay. Okay, last one. Did I just pull that out of my... I did.
You might have.
Okay, last one. Some believe that patience is a trait that can't be grown. So fixed mindset would be, I'm just an impatient person. Like, I'm a Sagittarius.
Okay.
My bad.
Don't be
I don't even know. Our
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius is impatient. I don't even know. I just picked one. Look, not Ariel feeling slighted. Asia, you don't count. you don't count, man. Should I go into steps to develop growth?
Wait, what does
mindset?
the growth one say?
Oh, I didn't write one for that.
Oh,
My bad.
just fixed.
just fixed.
I'm weak.
Okay. I won't go into steps to develop growth mindset. Or should I? Should that just be another episode?
We briefly talked about that last episode.
We did.
Very briefly.
But these are different.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
Share a couple.
I'll go through a couple.
Yeah.
Steps to develop growth mindset. Of course, identifying your own mindset. Where are you currently? Look at your past successes and improvements. What was difficult for you? How did you persevere through them? Learn from other people. My God, that was always my struggle.
Because that means that you have to like have community.
Yeah.
And trust others. And
Yeah.
that whole thing.
I used to be very hard-headed. Learn something new. Challenge yourself. That'll put you in a growth mindset. Make mistakes and then be kind to yourself.
Ooh, that one's hard.
I struggle with that one.
I still struggle with that. I'd be like, oh, you stupid.
Oh my God, dang it, Iyanna. And then set realistic goals.
Yes.
We talked about
That's
goals.
what we talked
That's
about.
what we talked about.
Yeah.
Goals. Yeah. Okay. So we were still, I just realized we were still on the steps to build interdependence. Know who you are in the beginning. And the last one is, look for all those things in a partner.
Oh, man.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Because you want to be with someone who is
healthy,
equal.
Yeah.
Like someone that you look at like a partner.
I won't even say equal.
You're equal.
Yeah. And so things that I look for in a partnership is I want in some ways to respect and admire my partner.
Yeah. But they can still, when I say you're equal, they could still be on the same level as you.
I see what you
that's
mean.
what I mean. When
Level of communication, level of self-awareness,
Yes.
level of dedication.
Yes. You all can have different strengths and weaknesses
I love
and
that.
things that like you admire, like you said about them. But
Yeah.
you all should be on the same like playing field.
At least.
Yeah, at least.
At least. And then grow from there.
Yes.
I love that. All right. That's all I got.
Wow, that was great.
Was it
I
good?
loved it. Yes, that was so good.
I learned a lot.
Me
kind of
too. I
writing
enjoy
all this
when we
out.
do this, like,
Yeah.
because it just makes it's a good way to like have open dialogue about topics that like we might know some things about, but then being able to like learn more.
Okay, so at the end of the day, if you want a healthy, interdependent relationship, know who you are, learn who you are, and establish that.
Yeah, be reflective. Like
Be reflective, yeah.
really spend time with yourself and being honest with yourself about who you are and your shortcomings, your strengths. It's just important to be able to like move forward in that direction to be interdependent.
And then look for those same exact things in your partner.
Yes.
Woo, we love that.
All righty.
All right.
This was great.
This
But
was
we're
great.
going to move it forward and we're going to take a listener submission. We know that you all are hoping to hear from us, like you all take time to write out your listener submission. So we definitely want to respond. So I think Asia and Ariel might have like went through to
texted it to
grab
us.
one. Okay.
Okay. All right. So here we go. I'm going to read it out. It says advice. Been in a relationship for 2 years and it's just not going good. Trying to fight through and work, but recently ran into somebody who's giving me everything I've wanted. ... Stuck on what to do. Oh my God, my girl. So my first immediate question is, I wonder what her issues are in her relationship. And when she says gives her everything that she wants, what is she looking for? I need more context, Dan. See, I can never answer these questions because I need more.
Let me be real.
Okay, be real. Be real with it.
This sounds like my situation.
I was
thinking that. Okay,
because it sounds like mine too.
I was with someone for 2 years.
Look, it sounds like mine too.
And then somebody came along and showed me everything that I ever wanted. And I had to skedaddle.
Was that Marcus?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I got up out of there. I said, look, sir, you got 2 seconds to get it together. Pick now.
Look,
you choosing violence? Okay, I gotta go. So
I love that.
I'm not saying that you gotta go, sis, but you might have to go, sis.
I don't know, because I also wasn't getting what I needed. And I was like, I didn't have everything I wanted immediately after though. And I was like, yeah, either way, I think it's time to go.
I don't know. I feel like there is the aspect of like the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
However, if you, like, regardless if it's this person or not, if you're not receiving what it is that you need out of a relationship, like, don't stick around and be in that situation.
Yeah. Okay. If I was this person, I would, in my mind, theoretically, ignore whoever this other person is.
Yep.
And I would just focus on, okay, what does this relationship look like? What are the needs I'm not getting met? Are these things that can grow? Are these things that I once had that he wasn't given? Or is he even capable of giving me what I need? Have I communicated these things? How 2 years is a long time. I'm assuming that's enough time that you put in with somebody, you know?
But even then, like, another good question to ask yourself, if this other guy did not exist, would you still be questioning the same things about your relationship that make you want to leave?
Agreed. Because if you're already questioning them and this guy just happened to pop up, that's one thing.
Yeah, that means it's beyond the guy.
Agreed.
It's the fact that this relationship is not fulfilling.
Agreed. Okay, so that's how I'll say. If it's beyond the guy, the new guy, then it's probably time for you to leave.
Right.
But if it only appeared because of this new guy,
you might be in comparison mode where there's some things that are lacking that maybe you haven't communicated. Yeah. Maybe it's not, like you haven't given enough time for those things to like shift and change. But like if there has been time for it to shift and change and you communicate it and it's still crap, girl.
And leave. And leave.
I love it.
I love it too.
Yeah, that's my advice.
Look, that's mine too. Shoot.
We gonna wrap this up.
Sorry, y'all.
Hello.
It's technically on Do Not Disturb, but Anna's not on Do Not Disturb because y'all know she the real one.
Yeah.
So just in case you need to call me, even though she don't be saying nothing important at all, Anna, because I know she be listening.
I'm so weak. Okay, we got Fill of the Week.
Oh, Fill of the Week. No
Fill of the Week.
No Fill of the Week. We've been talking enough.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, we're about to wrap this sucker up.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. So thank you guys for rocking with us again.
Wait, affirmations.
Oh.
Dang, Kayla, I'm out here trying to affirm the people. I want to affirm the people.
Roll it back. Forget I said that.
Okay, how many should I do? Because I wrote down a lot.
Just do like maybe
3.
I'll do 3. Okay.
3 of them things.
3 of them things.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
I'm strong enough to fail.
I'm strong enough to fail.
To try new things.
And
ask for help. Mistakes help me learn and grow. Challenges help me flourish. Okay, now for the Christ believers, or if feel free to switch it out for whatever you need to. Well, this was just a Bible verse, so maybe not this one.
Bible verse.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Okay, now I'm going to say He.
Of
course, I mean the Lord. Mm-hmm. But if it ain't the Lord, if it's the universe for you, by all means, switch it out. He has given me the tools for me to navigate any challenges life brings me.
He has given me the tools to help navigate the challenges that life brings me.
I love it. Look at that. And I just have to exercise and flex them.
Yes. I have to exercise and hit them with that flex. Hey. Come on. Hey. Okay. We about to wrap this thing up. Thank you for another wonderful episode here at Fill in the Blank Podcast. Everybody give a round of applause from your home, from your car. Don't take your hand off the steering wheel. But yeah, for Iyanna, because this was her production week. And she did so good. It was so great. Yeah. But okay, you all know the drill. You can follow us on TikTok at Fill in the Blank pod _ No underscore? Oh, that's on Instagram. Okay, redo. You can follow us on TikTok at Fill in the Blank Pod. You can follow us on YouTube. If you don't know, we have visuals over there that our lovely production crew of Asia at Asia Lexi Productions, she produces every week so diligently for us. So if you like to watch us, you can find us on YouTube at Fill in the Blank Podcast. You could follow us on Instagram at Fill in the Blank _ me at as told by Kayla, and Iyanna
at Iyanna.amore.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We love you guys, and please share your comments and thoughts about this week's episode. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.